racing.
Hey, Eric Adcock here with my man Jay Halwig. What's going on, sir?
I'm just living right now.
Just living? How big are we living today?
As big as you can get.
Good, good. I was going back and looking at the podcast and the episode we did back in, I think it was January of 24. Seems like a lot longer than that.
Has it been over a year?
Yeah, January 24. Lots changed since
Yeah.
then. But it's the number 12th, or that's not the right word. It's the 12th most listened to podcast of the 130-something episodes I've done.
Wow.
You're in the top 12. Can you do it? Can we say top 12? I mean,
Yeah, we can.
top 10
Yeah.
seems a little, but anyway. So thank you for coming by and doing this
Yeah,
again with me.
absolutely.
I always enjoy talking with you. We were just kind of kicking around the idea of some things, maybe some books or something you've been reading or listening to or something like that. But just going to shoot from the hip today.
Yeah, I think that's
So,
a great idea.
A lot has changed, and
Yes.
I may do a series with all the guys because we had so many weddings
Mm-hmm.
last year. You
Yeah.
know? And so I may do a before and after series because it seems like I was going back and looking. A lot of the guys I had talked to, a lot of young guys there are now married, and some are expecting
Yes.
to be you are about to be a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Is that crazy? How crazy is that when you really think about it? How wild crazy is that?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm chilling.
Real? You chilling?
Yeah.
You've got this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't read any books. I haven't asked people advice really. I'm kind of just every parent has their own way of doing things,
Right.
and we're just gonna naturally find our way of doing things.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done this whole entire marriage, and we figured it out pretty quick.
Yeah.
I'd like to think.
Yeah.
So I'm really
So
not
no,
worried about
no
it.
taking advice on.
I don't want to waste my time.
Okay. All right. So anybody else that's done it, you're like, you know what? I just don't think I'm going that route.
No, it's just that some things that apply to others
Yeah.
don't apply to some people,
agree,
and
yeah.
I'm just, I'm gonna figure it out for myself, and
Yeah. As long as you just kind of like our pediatrician did with Jackson, he said just feed them, grow them, and love them. You know.
yes,
Make sure you keep them in church and
the most important thing is being there.
Yeah. Being
I
there is
think.
important. It's always there are a lot of that's a that's a big thing these days.
Yeah, they need that human connection.
Yeah, it's just being there.
Mhm.
That's hard.
Yeah.
A lot of people say what they want to, but it's in the day we live in. It's hard to be 100% connected, and I try my best. But I had did this little joke on Facebook and Instagram about. It frustrates me when I get this. I get voicemails from people like, "Hey, I'll be out of the office. Today is Monday. I won't be back till next Monday. I won't have access to cell phone service." And I'm like, "Where are you going?" Like, and I got some hate about that. Some
Really?
people in the comments, "It's called vacation. We don't work on vacation." All this but how do you just disconnect from everything? I've yet to figure that out. How people can just because I work. Like if we go on vacation, I take a laptop and I work. If I go to Jackson or just anywhere, I'm working.
Yeah.
So just I'm not really envious of people just disconnect from the world because it doesn't seem like that's really viable.
In this day and age, no.
Yeah, people
It's
just
not.
don't seem to. But anyway, so I got some hate on that, and maybe it's just that they hated their job or something. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So tell me what's been about the marriage. What's been some surprising things about that you'd like to share?
Some surprising things.
Surprising things about marriage.
Oh gosh. I think everything that's been known about marriage is known already. There's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
In terms of lessons I've learned.
Yeah. Give me some lessons.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Let me 7 months in my marriage try to give some astute advice or something. Can I get biblical?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we get pretty spiritual in this podcast sometimes.
I've been doing notes on a certain subject or whatever.
Awesome.
And let me just start off with I hate that I'm doing this. Genesis 2:18.
You going way back.
Oh, gee.
The throwback. Go ahead.
Says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I'll make him an helpmeet for him. And I wanted to know what the definition of helpmeet was.
Right.
And the word help comes from the Hebrew word ezer, whatever, I don't know, which is translated as aid or help. That's self-explanatory. But the word meet can be translated to part opposite, specifically a counterpart or mate, usually over against or before.
Mm-hmm.
And the term over against means to be opposed or to be in contrast with.
Yeah.
And my question was, why would God choose Adam's helpmeet to oppose him, to be against him?
Right.
Not that my wife
Yeah.
is against me or opposes me, but I think the best marriages are a marriage that challenges you,
Right.
that forces you to change.
Yeah.
Because I have had to make a lot of changes, and I've had to compromise on things, and I've had to adjust on certain things, but it's truly made me a better person.
Yeah.
And I think that she does bring out the worst in me and the best in
Right.
me
Yeah.
in all the right cases.
Yeah.
So I think people that are expecting this peaceful, thing when it comes to marriage, after the honeymoon phase is over, you have to realize that this is for your growth.
Yeah.
This is to challenge you and to oppose you.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And I think you're right about that. As far as with God, I don't know. Giving marriage advice is not where the podcast was going, but it's like anything. If you got two people that are just what I mean, they get offended by the same things. They like the same things. They have no difference. Like me and Holly are really opposites on so many things, but it keeps us pretty balanced.
Yeah, absolutely.
Extremely balanced. So I know what you're saying. Like if I get off on one direction, I'm glad she's not on that direction with me a lot of times, because then we just wind up in the ditch.
Yeah.
It's almost like the two blind that wind up in the ditch. So
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. And so, but Stu, would you want to elaborate on any of the things you may have had to have compromised on, if it's something that's podcast friendly?
Strong. I really can't think of anything that comes to mind. It's just been an overall, thing or whatever. I don't have any embarrassing stories that
Were you
on
headstrong?
top of my head.
Were you really? Was there anything that going into marriage that you're like, that once you got into it, it's like you just blew your, like, was not that way, like just blew your total bubble, like not going to fight, not going to do all this, and not going to have any. Was there anything? I mean, I guess, did you have just this romantic view?
I've had to learn how to approach opposing or different opinions in a peaceful context.
Okay.
Because when we first started dating, if I disagreed with something, then I would just get really quiet.
Right.
Or if I got mad or something, I would just and really just like keep my mouth shut. But obviously, you have to talk it out.
Right.
Relationship is based off of communication.
Sure.
If there's no communication, then there's no relationship.
Yeah.
And the relationship dies. But on going on the complete opposite side of that, you get, full-fledged confrontation where it's like, I'm right, you're wrong, this is how it is, you're stupid. I obviously wouldn't, go that far, but,
so y'all
just
had that.
trying to prove that I'm right.
Right.
Was the issue. Pride was the
Right.
issue. But you really have to meet the middle ground and see where they're coming from, and oftentimes, because my philosophy was, well, let's just talk about it right here and right now, because I don't want to just like brush it under the rug or whatever and just let it stew and let it simmer and whatever. So like, let's just get it done and out of the way. And she's one of those people that's like, I need time to think. I need time to like process how I'm feeling, because I'm not the best with words or whatever. And sometimes you have to like take a break. Not obviously, you know what I mean by take a break, but like, and don't get on your phone and don't just distract yourself with social media. And really just like sit there for like 5 minutes and be like, what are we doing? Is this worth getting mad over? Is this worth, ruining a day or a night? You set the tone.
Yeah.
So that is something that we've we've learned, and I think we're doing a way better job
Yeah.
now.
So I think with the thing that I was really most interested in, I guess, with all the new young couples and things like that, you and Zoe are probably one of the ones, maybe the only ones that don't have immediate family
Yeah.
here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your mom and dad live a good bit off,
Mm-hmm.
8-9 hours away, and her
Yes.
parents are not close as far as in.
As far as relationally,
Yeah.
they are not
Okay.
close.
So, I think y'all have got a pretty good blank slate, as far as the way y'all want to live your life and have you don't have
Right.
any, and that could be a good thing, having no outside,
No outside voices
well,
to
yeah, but then
pit against.
you can adopt some, I'll
Yeah.
find you someone that, that's kind of like that. So, in a lot of ways, y'all have got a blank slate to kind of work
I
with,
think it is a healthy thing in to a certain extent, just because I'm, and maybe I'm wrong in this belief, but I think that you shouldn't just bring your marital problems, or I'm not saying that we have problems, but I don't think you should bring your issues that you have with your partner to somebody else, because that other person isn't going to give your spouse the amount of grace or the amount of love
Oh, yeah.
that you will. They're
Yeah.
just going to they're going to pick favoritism, they're going to
Sure.
pick your side, they're going to affirm your feelings
Right.
whether they're right or wrong,
Right.
and then you're just going to come back even harder, and it's
Right.
just like, well, what does that solve? You have to solve it between you two.
Yeah.
If you can't figure out the relationship without getting other people involved, then that's a tough place
Yeah.
to be, I think.
You said something a few minutes ago about, we just mentioned something about AI and something like that. And you said that AI is built to self affirm us.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard that, but I'm not smart. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I remember reading an article of this guy asked AI about what would modern day Baal worship look like, and the AI talked him through of like um, murder and like cutting himself, and like these are things that you're gonna have to do in order to do like this so-called Baal worship, or
Right.
whatever you want to call it. I forget what the actual
Yeah.
terms are. Forgive me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but this is just what I remember. But AI is trained to affirm you, to whatever you give it, it's going to be like, yes, that is a good idea, or this is how you do it, or whatever else. It doesn't have that like, that's probably not a good idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you could probably train it to be that way, but
Yeah.
first first go, it's not going to be like that. And I think that's a dangerous place to be. But I know that AI is a very touchy subject to some. So
Yeah. Is it touchy to you? Are you touchy on AI or
no,
no? Yeah.
no, I
I'm
don't
not.
think
I'm not
so.
either. I'm good with it.
No, I think it can be used for good. I think that, I mean, any tool can be used for good. You can
Yeah.
either use social media, as a platform to reach people and to have a positive impact, or you can use it and be an idiot,
Yeah.
or to stumble, or whatever that issue may be for you. But
Yeah. I haven't really had a. I've got a lot of friends on both sides of the the deal as far as creativity, and whether it's art or songwriting or podcasting or even, I mean, anything.
mm-hmm.
It seems to be really dominant in that field, and we've kind of built it ourselves because we've given everything to the internet for free for 20 years.
Yeah.
We've uploaded our thoughts and our images and all that, and now the computer's taking and just drilling it down into some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, it's
Yeah.
doing phenomenal things. So the uh, the question that maybe that I had asked, and I'd send it to you, is like, someone said one time that you need three wins every day. You need a physical win. You need to do something physical, running, walking, some kind of exercise.
Yeah.
And then you need a mental win, which is a reading, creating something,
Yeah.
and then you need a spiritual win, as far as meditating, praying, and reading your Bible or whatever. So
Yeah.
the three things that we need,
Body, soul, and spirit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So what are, is has do you have anything currently that you're working on with something like that? I mean, do you would
When
uh,
it comes to 3 wins.
yeah, well, 3 wins of the body, soul, and spirit. I mean, that's been on my mind a good bit the last couple weeks. Is like,
Yeah.
what's your day? I mean, I know you work physical, you're physically
Yeah, I'm
hard
not missing
work. I
out on
mean, so
that part.
you've kind of got that down
Yeah.
pat.
My physical win is guaranteed with
Right.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about mentally? Because you're kind of you're a reader,
Hmm.
or is there anything that you're reading right now that
Um,
really, I'm not much of a reader, but anyway.
I'm reading a book right now called "The Body Keeps the Score"
Okay.
by Bessel van der Kolk,
Okay.
and it talks about how trauma and affects not only your mental health, but it also affects your physical health. And I've been studying that a lot. Um, definitely not a light read,
Right. No.
but it's something that I find fascinating.
Yeah.
And but reading is definitely a mental win. Studying is a mental win for me. Uh,
And we've touched base on the last podcast about your desire to do more in the field of therapy and stuff like that.
yes, yeah. I actually talked with our pastor about it, and he thinks it's a great idea. And I plan on pursuing my master's in counseling and eventually do that full time. I would love to do that,
Yeah.
especially just to be able to be at the church full
Yeah.
time and just do that is like a dream come true.
Yeah. And the baby's coming in.
Late October, so we got about 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, she just hit third trimester today.
Wow.
Actually,
And
yeah.
you left her to come do the podcast. Wow. What what
Yeah.
a what a beast
What
you
a
are.
husband. Maybe there's
Wow.
another lesson
Yeah.
I'm needing to learn here.
Yeah. So that's new.
Yeah,
That's new.
it is very
And we've got that down pat. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
no.
What about something? And when I thought about this question, I feel like it could go a lot of different ways.
Okay.
And you'd be the first person that I would probably I'm trying to get a format, like
Okay.
maybe just from here on out, the people I talk to, I have
You just
3 or
asked the
4
same
major questions
Yeah, yeah,
to see what people kind of go through. So one of the ones that I did was whatever you're learning today, and then something that you wish you have never have learned, or something you have never. I mean, and that ain't gotta get too deep or anything like that. I just know that sometimes you just wish you would have never have figured that out. Is there anything that's going on that you've like, man, I wish I wouldn't have learned that, or I wouldn't have figured that one out. Like I did one. I come across something the other day that and maybe we can just transcend into this. Like,
yeah. Go ahead.
there's some people that that will only help you if you bring something to the table to help them. It's like if there's no other there's no other thing that combines their friendships or their partnerships together unless it's to benefit each other, some kind of financially or
There's
some
unfortunately
kind
a
of
lot of
a
people
project or something like that.
Yeah.
So what is there, have you ever been across something like that? You're like, man, it hurts that I figured that out, or I learned that, or whatever. But and maybe that's a disappointment. Have you had any recent just, man, that was low,
Um, as a man that really likes knowledge, it's really hard to think about something that I would regret learning.
Okay. Hey, that's
Um,
fair. That's good. I like that.
I think, and it's complicated, but I think the only thing that I feel like I would regret learning is learning the flaws of other people, because
Yeah.
then you can look at them in a negative light and not give them the grace
Yeah.
that you would give them otherwise.
Yeah.
Because we go to a big church, and with big church, there's always going to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
there's
Sometimes there's drama.
always going to be
Yeah.
drama. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people that make stupid decisions,
Yeah.
and
And that's
just part of
that's
humanity.
really fair. And the reason I ask, and I may not be able to ask that, but you've always just had a genuine answer on things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people do disappoint us.
Yeah.
And so I come across this deal the other day, and I just I can't stand the hashtag or the lingo church hurt. I just don't get. I mean, I get it, but I'm like the people that I always see that I know church hurt, church hurt, church hurt, and I'm like, well, what about church laugh? Because I have a tendency to put a lot of hashtags about that church laugh.
Yeah.
You know. So instead of like just dwelling on the church hurt, I've been hurt at church. I mean, everybody has
Everyone
had
has,
some,
yeah, at some point.
but I just I think it would be so much better to think of the joy that you have found there. Maybe, and maybe that's what I can ask you. What is something that you've learned this year, just a total joy that you've had in at church or in church, or maybe you've met a new friend or a new people's prayed through or whatever. Where could you grab some joy and tell me about the podcast that you've gotten from church? I mean, I know there's a ton of stuff to think about with the way we have
Right.
services Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
It feels like that
Right.
sometimes.
But has there been a recent moment that you've seen somebody maybe in the prayer in the altar, someone's testimony or something like that you say, wow, that really inspired me? We've had a ton of great altar services lately and just a ton of great messages. Is there anything that you could just, not trying to, make it hard, but just ingenuine, or maybe something that the Lord touched you with, and during service, or put something on your heart? Anything that you got that could that you'd like to share on that?
I think we have the most joy, and I think we're the most fulfilled when we're doing selfless acts. And I've noticed that, especially when it comes to altar working and stuff like that, there's such a pressure to have this profound word, to have this direct word from God, and just to shake the foundation and just read into people's lives or whatever. But I have found that what seemingly is the most effective thing, or one of the most effective things, is just encouragement. We had an event this year called Ascend, and in the altar I gave two people just an encouraging word. Just, I know it's been rough or whatever, but like, I believe in you, just that kind of talk, and just seeing the effect it had on them, seeing them, break down and cry afterwards, and just, it is so easy to be a net force for good.
Yeah.
It takes a second to speak positively into someone's life, just as it's so easy to speak poison into someone's life. You
Right.
can do it in a matter of seconds. But if I can, and I've even prayed about this and cried about it, just if I can just be a net force for good, if I can just encourage somebody, love somebody, then that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah. I think we have to, we got so many great people that we know and that do, they do social podcasts, and they're evangelists, preachers, teachers. They teach, and it's just out in general that, we feel like we've got to have, you know, a degree in everything to be encouraging, and that's one thing that I think Pastor said doesn't take a PhD to be encouraging. I just made that up. I thought that may rhyme.
What a
there.
bar.
Wow, right? Yeah, I'm just spitting bars over here, but and I think you're really built for that. I see a lot of that going on. As far as what you do, just need you to keep that up 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like that. I think I think you're really
Yeah.
you're really on to something. So.
Yeah, talking about church hurt, it was sometime last year. And I remember I prayed for like 2 weeks in a row. And I just kept on hounding on the same thing. And I kept on saying, Lord, help me to love people how you love people.
Right.
And you don't realize how dangerous of a prayer that is until it's answered. Because as soon as I prayed that prayer and things started to happen is when I got church hurt. It's when I started getting offended, when people started talking behind my back and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And you don't realize in that moment, and looking back I was, but it's like you're just under the devil's thumb, and
Yeah.
you're getting offended, and things are terrible and whatever. But I prayed, and I was like, I prayed to love people how you love people.
Yeah.
And God gets offended at our actions every single day.
Yeah.
You don't think he hurts when a child doesn't talk to him, or you think he's
Yeah.
not hurting when someone's doing something that's only hurting themselves. It takes looking from a different lens to be
Yeah.
like, these
See,
people are
yeah.
just people.
Yeah. But you know, I didn't know that you had gone through that season, so I don't really know where that come from other than just me running my mouth. But you know, everybody has been kind of at that place where they're like, man,
Absolutely.
I
And
could
you have a
just
decision to make.
yeah, you do, and you make the right when you feel good about it. You're like,
Absolutely.
hey, I won this one. You know, it's like, hey, I won. You know, I like to win. I
Or
don't.
worst case scenario, you learn from it.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
You know, that's big. And so, you know, and you mentioned the thing about it is that you've just got to realize that people are people. And here's the thing that I heard a quote the other day, and it's like, I can't say it verbatim, but he said, "Why would you let someone's opinion bother you if you wouldn't be willing to take advice from that person?" You know, so unless you were to seek out advice from the person that's giving you a bad opinion, you know, that's talking about you, why would you even let that bother you?
Yeah.
You know, and I really took that down. It's like a lot of times I hear somebody will say something to me, or not to me, but you know, I hear something on the internet or whatever. I'm like, oh, that just irks me, and I'm like, well, why does it bother me?
With? Is that something that you struggle with? Is like the opinions of others?
Oh yeah, I do. I have, and I can't say that I've conquered all that. But getting back to this, and I'll tell you why. I'm always available for everybody. It seems like I'm like you talk about these people that go off on vacation and just never can turn everything off. Never, me, never. And I like being accessible to people. I mean, I want people to. I think it's really sad that there's some people that, and it's not, and I don't mean to sound crazy like this, but some people go off the radar and they don't even know they're going off the radar. Like, he's off the radar. We never missed him, you know. And I think that's sad. I think that's really sad when you can be live in a world of 7 billion people and no one miss you, you know. And so the opinions of others I get a lot because I'm so available to everything. And there was this deal that happened. I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a deal that happened last week, actually.
Wow. Okay.
That so I've got about 3 close college friends that we've always been friends. One I pretty much talk to him every day.
Yeah.
One we're gonna text once a week, twice a week. The other guy has ghosted me for like 25 years. Don't know why, but just never. Every time I try to get up with him, like I'd go out to the state he lived in for business. I'd get over, he wouldn't get up with me, and just really baffled by it. But he had talked to everybody else but me, and I'm like, well, what did I do to the guy? Because we roomed together, we were in bands together. Just I thought we were, but again, it's just one of those deals. So anyway, he just the buddy I talk to all the time called me like last week, and he's like, "Hey man, you want to go play golf?" I'm like, "Yeah, where you gonna go?" He's like, well, I'm coming down to Philadelphia to play golf. I said, "Yeah, what time? Well, let's do it." And I said, "Okay, good." He said, "I'm gonna let you know." He said, and he called this guy's name. Yeah, I'm gonna meet him down there to play golf. I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, good. Y'all have a great time." Yeah,
you were gonna ghost him.
But I'm like, I said, you know what? Y'all just no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just not gonna do it. And I thought, I mean, and maybe I was being petty on it or whatever.
Just a little.
Yeah, I was. But I'm like, if no one can, everybody can. I guess what I was saying is like, everyone can always get up with me, whether it's people wanting a job or people commenting on a post or calling me or whatever. I'm always available. So it hit me that night. I'm like, if you can't get up with me, it's because you don't want to get up with me. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to, after 20 years, if you have not reached out to me, then you just don't want to, because I can't tell you of the people from all over the country, and that's not being braggadocious. I'm not saying I'm a big shot or anything like that, but I answer emails and texts and phone calls, all the time. So it just, I guess I did have a little bit of it wasn't a church hurt thing, but it was a pettiness. It was a petty thing. And I'll be honest with you, I thought I had a win on that. I really did. I mean, maybe, but it wasn't going to matter either way. It's like if I'd have took my Friday off and rearranged everything to go play golf, it just wouldn't have been a deal. So,
well, I think, or at least for me, anyways, I realized that it's easy to self-reflect, and it's easy to think about, well, what did I do, or
right,
did I do something to offend him, or did I do this, or did I do that? Honestly, unless that person is just vindictive and trying to hurt you, most of the times people are just selfish.
Yeah.
And they're not doing it to purposely take you off or get back at you. They're just thinking about themselves.
Yeah. And I don't think he was. I just think that, in the middle of, perfect example is that, I don't want to get sidetracked on that. I got something else I want to talk about, but perfect example, last time I saw him was at his father's funeral. And, I took off, went to his father's funeral, not because anything other than he was just a friend.
Yeah.
And when my father died, he never called me. And when my mother died, he never called me. So I kind of got the idea that
that hurts.
He just really just didn't want to. I mean, he just not even a text message. So I get it, it's fine. But Holly said I was being petty. Probably was, but I'm like, if I rearranged my entire life for that, I felt like that as the glue guy all my life, just holding everything together for all my friends and being always there. I just felt like, what, it just really wasn't. It just wasn't timely for me.
You were going to spend a lifetime trying to find a balance of
what's
what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah. I wrote this quote down the other day.
Okay.
And it said, compete externally and you compare. Compete internally and you improve.
Okay.
And I think what spoke to me about that, and I'll let you talk about it if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
We spend so much time comparing ourselves to other people, or at least I do.
Yeah.
And we compete externally, like try to get a new car, try to get a better this, better that. But then when it says if you compete internally, you self-internalize everything that you can make yourself better with. Like I can improve this in my life or do that. Then you improve as a person. You win by being not introverted, obviously, but looking at yourself and seeing where you can be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you agree with that? I mean, do you spend a lot of time reflecting on what you can do better as far as?
I am unfortunately I'm too self-aware.
Okay.
For my own good, I think sometimes. If I'm doing something stupid, or if I'm making a mistake, or if I'm being petty, or if I'm, I know.
Yeah.
Like I am.
Does pettiness bother you?
I'm so self-aware of what I'm doing,
Right.
but like my emotions can get so heated that I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
And obviously that's not a good place to be, but I do agree with that sentiment. I think that comparing yourself to other people can go along with the spirit of just being ungrateful.
Right.
Of where you're at and what you have.
Yeah.
So I don't let my mind go there in terms of, because I mean, just this past couple of weeks, I've had to fight that just a little bit, because I've seen a bunch of people go on vacation or do this and that, and I'm like, I'm working my butt off right now. And I'm like, man, I would love a vacation.
Sure, yeah.
And, I could easily let that get to me. I could easily be like, oh, well, I'm just stuck here and they can
Right.
do this. And I can get bitter. But
Right.
what is that going to do?
Right.
So, as soon as I felt that thought starting to form in my brain of like, just a tinge of bitterness or jealousy, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
I paused. And I
Yeah.
was like, stop. I was like, I'm grateful for where I'm at. I have work. I'm providing whatever,
I think you're doing great.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. So I stopped myself from doing that. I'd like to think successfully.
Right.
But in terms of internally, I always think that we should have an upward aim,
Yeah. I like
to have
that.
something to reach,
Mhm.
because we're always reaching.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I have a bad time of again because I'm so um I guess because I'm just so available to things that I do. I can't sit back and say that I don't look at someone's social media outlets and stuff like that. I'm like, man, why?
Just delete social media, bro.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
I have
just
no social media
I
on my
just
phone right now, and I
I mean, I
feel
just
so
love it,
free.
and I enjoy the I enjoy making people laugh and things like
Yeah,
that.
no,
So,
I think you're using it for a net force for
I
good. So
I got my first Christmas party the other day. Somebody called invited me to their Christmas
What?
party. So I do about 1 or 2 Christmas parties a year. It's my
Yeah,
favorite time of
that's
year to do that.
awesome.
So, but the so there was somewhere I was going to go with that. We were talking a few minutes ago, and I've kind of lost track on that. But what is it that I know we talked about some music
Mhm.
and stuff that you've been working on. We kind of share idea and music back and forth, and I make
Yeah.
you CD albums and stuff like that.
Yes.
Have you been working on anything? Are you doing anything like that as far as songwriting or music? Or I know right now you're probably writing a lot of lullabies and stuff like that.
For the baby, yeah, of course. Um, Man, I wish I could say I have. It's been such a busy season right now.
Yeah,
Just trying to get ready for the kid and with work and everything. That's kind of taken a back seat. We had that one recording session like a
yeah.
few months ago, and then just nothing came from it. But I mean, it's so hard to get a group of guys in one room
Oh, sure. Yeah,
for a few hours
yeah.
and to be able to be productive because we're all just living
Mm-hmm.
our own lives. And it's I mean, it's unfortunate, but at the same time,
Yeah.
what can you do? And it also sets your priorities straight. So
Right.
yeah.
We've really, I guess, I fell into doing the jail ministry the
And
last
talk
couple
about
of,
that, man, because
and
I remember you've told me in the past that jail ministry wasn't your thing.
bro, it's
It just doesn't fit you. And
yeah,
and then you approached me a few weeks ago and said, "Man, I've been playing at the jails."
yeah,
And I'm like,
it's
"Wow, what happened? What
yeah.
caused the turnaround?"
It was this deal where I can't remember, someone preached on the talents or something like that, and I'm not uberly talented in any field. I just got a lot of interests, and sitting around thinking the other day, here's a bunch of I've been asked to do this.
Hmm.
I'm terrible about volunteering. I mean, I feel like everybody knows I'm available for things, but I've got a bad I've got a flaw in me that likes to be asked. To be
Yeah,
invited into
I am
something.
the same way.
Uh,
I won't ever put my foot in the door.
yeah, it's very hard for me to assert myself into
Yeah,
conversations
I understand.
and things like that. So, but I was just kind of knocking my head against the wall on some things one day. I'm like, I'd like to do some things like this, and and maybe get out and do stuff like that. And then the Lord just kind of impressed me, like, hey, if won't you just do, if you get asked, would you do something? I'm like, well, yeah. So Brother Collins, brought up the
Good
prison,
old
the
Toby.
jail. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, and then it just ring, ring, ring. You asked for this.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, when we first went, I didn't really know what to expect. Like I said, my dad was a cop, so I never made it back there far. If I was at the jail, I was seeing him because
Yeah.
he, was either. But I never made it in the back. I never really had the a desire to be locked up. I always kind of, but man, when we went in and just with the ministry that went in there with Brother Collins and Brother Sharp and Brother McGrone and a couple of the other guys. I think Brother Beeson was there.
Yeah.
Just when you see people that really respond to what God's doing, it was really felt like that I was really helping,
Yeah.
and so in fact we go every other Thursday night, which I had to decline tonight because I had somebody on the pod. But
You declined a jail ministry to do this pod, and I neglected my wife in her third trimester, so we're just doing great.
Yeah, but no, I just didn't. I found a I don't know. There's a ministry there. It really is, and whether it's God, I don't want it to sound bad. Like we go and minister to people, and then they ask, where do y'all go to church? We tell them. We come back the next 2 weeks and they're out, but they hadn't come seen us, And
sometimes you just have to trust God to salt those oats.
Yeah, well, you know what I found out that God's comfortable in the jail.
Yeah,
I mean, there's more. I talked to a guy one time and I said, what if this was what it takes to get you to do right? If this is what it takes to save you, for God to come and meet you in a dirty prison, I mean, and it's it's an idea. I mean, it's really that may be what it takes to save. And the Lord really impressed on me on that. It's like, some of these guys they're just never going to do right. But there's someone in here. This is the moment where I'm going to meet them at this filthy. I mean, you put about 15 guys in a pod, and they're there because they're not, clean cut citizens.
Yeah.
And you walk into that, and it's never been a deal about being worried about spiritual attacks or anything like that, or even physical attacks. But the Lord impressed me that somebody, that's their moment. I've aligned everything in their life.
Yeah.
For them to be there,
mm-hmm.
and that's where I'm going to meet them at the prison. And so when I've got that in my mind, I'm like, now I feel like I got a call to do that. So,
yeah. I mean, some people have to hit rock bottom to realize they never want to be there again.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of that.
Sometimes it takes stripping away luxuries and amenities just to really see what your priorities are.
Yeah, when you got to poop in the middle of the room with everybody else, that's pretty much, to me, that would be like, I'm willing to do whatever not to ever come back to this again, and I don't see a lot of and again, it's a deal where the availability of the Spirit is there.
Yeah,
because everybody's poor, everybody's broken. We're all in that together. There's no, there's no big eyes or little U's. Like, you're here because you're locked up.
Yeah,
and I'm here because I feel like that. So there's no. That's just the place, and so
it goes along with the idea of. When people are on their deathbed, they're not asking to see their trophies. They're not asking to see their money. They're asking to see their families. They're asking to see the people that means the most to them. And it goes back to relationship.
Yeah. And I told one of the guys, I said, somebody's got a grandma out there or a mama, or someone's praying for you. Like, let's do better than what we're doing. You're just. Why would you want to come to prison? I mean, that's just when I asked a bunch of them one night, like, why would y'all want to be here? I mean, like. Surely there's got to be anything's better than this.
Most of them don't.
Yeah, and that's kind of, so someone told me the other day, and I don't know if it was a compliment or not, they said, you've just got away with broken people. I'm like, I'm glad, I'm glad that I can minister in that area, which is totally different than what I typically do on a day-to-day basis as far as just making a joke of myself,
Yeah.
And so, but people in the jail, they don't really know that side. So when I go in there, I feel like that. Feel like I can
It's a
almost
little bit more of a reverence.
well, no one. A lot of the guys in there, they've been locked up for so long. They're not active. They don't know who this awkward life is. Not saying anything. I'm just saying that most people, when they approach me, it's about a joke or something like that. Something
Yeah.
I've done.
Yeah.
But there, I feel like the Lord's really put me in a place where I could really minister to people, and watching the other ministers do it's been
that's
a
beautiful.
real deal. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I think it's working out good for us.
Yeah,
So and I'm
absolutely.
hopeful that that we can establish a church in one of these jails. We're talking about the prisons,
Walnut Grove, yeah,
and the they've got should have plenty of room to put them. Put I told Brother Collins that what if we prayed a pastor through in the prison, and he was given the ability to set up a church and to be that inside the prison, have a church inside the prison. I think would be just an amazing thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The rehabilitation of and I'm not an expert on the United States prison system or anything like that. I just know the rehabilitation of people in the prison system is not very, I don't know what the reincarceration rate is, but I'm sure it's,
I know what you mean.
Pretty good, pretty high. That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
But anyway, something else I was want to touch on is just the ability to keep going, and you've always shown resiliency in that. As far as just reinventing yourself in a way, coming here and being a New Yorker and things like that. And you've been here. How long has it been now?
It has been a little over 2.5 years now.
Yeah, whole life is 100% changed and turned around, and
yes,
everything's going real good.
Yeah.
Baby on the way.
yes.
Diddy Halwig.
yes, that.
Married a great girl.
I did. The best one.
Yep. You got a good seat in the house. Got one of the best seats in the church,
Yeah.
What's that looking like in the next couple of years? Are we going to be moving back when we get the kids? Or, are we going to stay where we're at? Are we going to move back? Or what are we going to do? Are we going to move into more of a kid-friendly zone? Or what are we doing?
So much has changed in just a year that I could not even tell you what's going to happen in the next year. Right. What the next year is going to look like. Because, last time we talked, I was still in my old apartment. Now I'm in a house.
Right.
I wasn't even dating anybody. Now I'm married. I have a kid on the way. I was wearing glasses back then.
Oh my God!
I know.
You can't even see.
But it's just my whole life has been just transformed around, and I'm living proof that if you submit to this idea that you're going to make it.
Yeah.
So
it's been good to see you do that.
I appreciate that, man. It's been a journey.
I won't be here very long,
and we're still going.
They just aggravate me so bad. Like no, I'm not gonna put down the roots here. I'll be gone before you know.
I remember telling you that when I first got here. I was like, I plan on living here for a year or two, and I'll probably move. And now I'm.
How foreign is that? Is that foreign to you now? Like the idea of just picking up and leaving.
The only thing that's gonna make me move is if the Lord tells me to.
Right. Yeah.
Other than that, I'm ride or die, baby.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I think you and Zoe, along with all the other young couples, have just y'all are transforming the culture, and I appreciate what y'all are doing.
We're the next generation, man.
Yeah, man. Generations are coming.
Yep.
I'm just glad y'all are there, being a part of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm actually involved now.
Yep. You dug in. You're dug in like a blue tick hound or something like that. You're dug in deeper than a tick on a blue hound or something.
Yeah, everyone that I talk to is like, man, it feels like you've just been here forever.
Right. Yeah. You're the most popular kid in town too.
I don't think that's true, but
I'll
take it if that's
somehow you
that's
become the most popular kid. You're the coolest guy in the parking lot.
That's not. Right. That is not true.
But I've just always enjoyed your genuine. You're just a genuine guy, and if you're hurt, you hurt. If you're happy, you're happy. You've always kind of wore your feelings out there.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I've always rather to talk to somebody that you just never seem to have had an agenda. you know,
Hmm.
as far as trying to manipulate or move or anything like that. And some people, and I guess what I'm saying like that is that not that I hang out with a lot of people that have agendas, but you've just always been real genuine.
Yeah.
You know, I've always appreciated your spirit on that as a young man. And I think you'll go far if you keep that.
I appreciate
You know,
that.
I told Chase Boater I was going to try to get him on the pod, but he's way too busy preaching for everybody. What makes
Yeah.
Chase, I feel like, such a good preacher is he's just genuine. If he struggles with something, he's going to tell you about it. You know,
No,
he's like,
the thing that I love about his preaching is that every single message that he preaches, you can tell that it's personal,
that's one. Yeah,
and that's always the most effective.
exactly.
You know, you can have the most head knowledge and know all this theology and fun stuff, but if you haven't lived it,
Yeah, yeah,
people are gonna tell.
yeah,
People are gonna know that, you know.
yeah. That's what I appreciate about him and about you and other people. They're not trying to. I don't know. I think if you can keep that genuineness and just really preach from that's like Michael Grayson, the other. I guess
He
a
did
Sunday
absolutely
afternoon, just
fantastic.
absolutely.
He
You
did
could just
great. He
feel. You
killed
could
it.
feel the. You could feel
The passion behind
the
it.
passion, but also the brokenness too. I mean,
Yeah.
Michael is a. He talked about it just to start off. Had a very odd childhood, broken home, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and but he's not raising broken kids.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. He's not.
You
I
can
mean, his
stop
boy,
that generational curse,
right?
and you know.
And he has his boys are full, and of course his wife is, I'm sure, a big part of that.
Yeah.
It goes back to the first part of our conversation about having someone that'll balance you out. You know, is terrible. It's terrible. There's this meme out there, and it's funny, but it's these two iguanas, and they're kind of
Okay.
laid up, hugging each other. And the meme says, "When you're trash, when he's trash, but you're trash too." You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, have you seen that one?
No.
It's the funniest meme. It's like couples be like, "He's trash." I think it's that girls be like, "He's trash, but I'm also trash too." And it's like these two iguanas just kind of laying there together.
That's terrible.
It is terrible, but there's people like that they've, and I guess that's the general conversation we started off with is that, you know, having a good relationship or having in your case a wife and my case a wife,
Yeah.
that's always going to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
And like Holly is not petty at all. She's the least petty person in the world. Me, I can get
Petty City.
I've got a couple of properties on Petty Avenue. You know, I can be that. You know. And she's always there to say, "Stop doing that," or whatever.
Mm.
But if we were both that way, it would
just
would wind up in the ditch.
spiral.
You know?
Yes.
And
Snowball effect.
It goes the same way with money and finances and the way you're going to do things like that. So I think it's really good that, you know, when you and it's a lot like a superpower. You know, everybody can always have a superpower, whatever experience got you to that place that you can use, even a broken spot or something that you triumphed over. You had to go through that hard place in life. It's like I told Michael, I said, I know your parents divorcing is probably not what you imagined that would build your life, but that's what's built your life.
Yeah.
You know, because that's the first thing he talked about. I mean, when I was born and my mom and dad divorced, and that was that broken part in him. But he was able to take that and build his life. Michael has become a phenomenal father,
Yes.
you know, and I know his dad, not throwing any stones at his dad or anything like that, but Michael somehow made up in his mind that my family's not going to be that. And he really took a stand on it. And I admire people that do that. They don't shun it. They don't hide from it. I've had those problems, but now I'm going to build my life and make it better. So
yeah, you're usually not shaped by positive experiences, but negative ones.
Right.
And you have that responsibility to respond to it either in an effective way or a degenerative way.
Yeah, so it makes us like we should get up every morning wanting to fail at something.
Okay.
You know,
that's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Let me go out and really blow this thing up, you know. And I've always been bad about that. It's like
That's terrible.
Don't want to fail at something. I don't want to. And I guess coming from where I come from is, you know, I don't want to cause a financial burden, or I don't want to do this. I don't want to mess something up or whatever. but you learn from mistakes, and that's a painful lesson. But I've never known anybody to, just like you said, grow from just win after win after win after win. It comes down to,
you just get
man,
comfortable.
I'm really terrible at this. Maybe I can, do something different here.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. So there it is. So
Yes, sir.
bro, we have been going for an hour, and
I've had a great time.
that is. I
think it's been a
appreciate
good
your
conversation,
talk,
man.
and I
I always love talking with you.
I really want to do more of this, and but you're just I think people love the podcast. Going to do some more interviews, but
Going for top 13 this time.
Top 13, and maybe have you on as a host or something like that.
I would love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think we could do that. But you ain't got much going on, just a marriage and a baby and house and job, and
hey, you know what? You make time for what you think is important.
that's right. Unlike my buddy that ghosted me for like 25 years. I go back to that again. Okay.
My heart.
Jay Halwig, I appreciate it, man.
It's been a pleasure, man.
I love you.
Love you too, bro.